guys can tell, these windows are completely cased, jammed, sealed, header, and they are just about done. We've even got that behemoth of a window done. That one was really cool, and I'm gonna show you the tips and tricks that my finish carpenter showed me. Now, I've been casing windows for a while now, and I do it my way, but I never was really kind of taught the right way. I just kind of reverse engineered it, at least what I thought. So I've got some cool tricks I'll show you coming up. But what I want to show you today is how to make your baseboards that are decorative come together. Say you've got baseboards that aren't just square. When you have square baseboards, you usually just block them, scribe them, they look great. But if you have decorative, you can't just do a blunt edge. Well, you can. It's just not gonna look great. I don't recommend it. So I'm gonna show you two methods to do it, but one of them is really the smartest method to use. The first method I like to call the 45 method. Now, it is really simple. You take your miter saw and you put it at 45 degrees, whether it's this way and cutting, or if it's bigger stock and you can't cut down, you put your compound mitering saw at 45 and cut it. But regardless, you get a 45-degree angle. That's your 45-degree angle, and your two pieces are opposite cuts of each other. This method does work pretty good. If you have a 45-degree, you can line them up. You can even pin them before you put them in the corners, and that's a fantastic looking miter. But here's the biggest problem with the 45-degree method. There are almost no corners in a house that are perfectly 45 degrees. Now you can get pretty close, but at the end of the day, whatever you're missing, say like only a 16th of an inch here, you're gonna see a 16th of an inch gap in your corner. So if you take your two pieces, put them together, push them in, you don't get a bad looking corner, but you can tell once you put in those to the wall, you get this ugly gap there. Now everything is caulkable and fillable, but it also means it will split possibly later on. It's just not the best method, but it works. And I will throw no shame at anybody who uses it, because if that's the method you know, go for it. Use it, love it, enjoy it. Call it your own. But if you want to improve your mitered corners for decorative trim, you don't want to sit and figure out what the angle really is, because most of the time it's not 90. Here's the coolest method ever. This next method is what I call the coping method, and that requires one blunt edge going into the corner, like so, and the other coming into it. Now, that obviously looks terrible, and your options are to maybe trace this profile onto this other one and scroll saw it out, or this is the method I like the best. You take your second piece, put it on 45 degree again, so this way you see the perfect outline of your coping cut. Now with your father-in-law's coping saw, you follow this outline profile. And I like to start here off the curve. And you need to make sure that your saw is actually cutting at a back angle. That'll come out, that'll help later on. First piece, done. Now, you can take the time to cut with your coping saw this whole angle, but where that's a straight cut, I wouldn't waste my time. Grab your jigsaw and work your way around the easy cuts. Now that we've cut our profile, clean it up with some sandpaper. Now that we've coped and sanded our piece, we have our piece that's square into that corner. This gap doesn't matter because we're going to cover it all up. Then you take your coped piece and put it in place. Now you have a nice tight gap. Now if you need to change this a little bit, say you need to open that a little bit because it's not a perfect 45, or say you need to open it a little bit up because you've cut kind of at a back angle on there. There's room for this to pivot around, and just the tip of that is hitting. Now with a little bit of caulk, that is going to look like a $1 million joint. You guys, that is a very simple tip and trick that I think most finished carpenters learn, and as you practice it, it only gets better. Your first few are gonna look a little rough, but it gets better. Take your time, lean towards more sanding than you do cutting at first, and I think you'll just start to get better at it. I know I'm still learning the process myself, but I'm happier with the results that I'm seeing. If you like today's task, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and if you have not hit that notification bell, you're gonna wanna hit it because we have some big projects coming out right now, like these hardwood floors. Bye, guys.